Then a midwife came into the room. I hadn't been checked or anything, but she could tell by how often and the noises I was making. She said, "It's time." And I have never heard better words in my life. I just didn't want anyone to tell me how far along I was. I was so happy. That totally changed my mood. They started to run the bath. I got in and it certainly decreased my pain. I needed the end goal to be in sight. But unfortunately, the bath was poured a little bit too warm. My body temperature went up, baby's heart rate went up. I had to get out of the bath. So I got back onto the bed and then was told to push. Now, I didn't have any feeling that I should be pushing, and I only know this now in hindsight after having another baby, and I did have the feeling that I had to push. That I didn't have that for Bear at all. I felt so disconnected from my body. I pushed for over 2 hours. I pushed so hard that I burst blood vessels underneath my eye. It was extremely tiring. At one point, the doctor did come in, had a look, checked on me, and did say, look, if it doesn't progress, if we don't get to the next stage soon, we're going to have to intervene, and that will be in the form of forceps or suction. And that was what I needed to hear to finish and have that baby come out of me. Came out nice and healthy, happy, bouncy little crying little pink little boy. I gave birth to Bear at, I think it was 9:20 at night. I had gone into pre-labor the night before at 9 p.m. so I had been awake the entire night at home, been in hospital the entire next day. So it was a full 24 hours of craziness. I won't say I was in labor for 24 hours, but it was 24 hours of being awake. And that is extremely tiring whenever you have a marathon of birthing a baby to do. It was an amazing experience. When friends asked me straight after the birth, I said it was awful. It was the hardest thing I'd ever done. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. But I looked at it with a traumatic point of view, and now I can look at it from a very empowering point of view. After I had Bear, then unknown to me, they did inject me to help the placenta, help me give birth to placenta faster. I did not know that was happening, and I was totally out of it, and I did not know to say no. So it just happened. So that was something I learned for my second baby as well, to stress that I wanted a natural second labor, second birth of the placenta. I ended up having to have quite a few stitches, and I think I would put this down to me having to push so hard and just pushing, not working with my body, not listening to my body, and not having those urges naturally there. Know that it's not the worst thing in the world. It happens, and I healed just fine from it. That night, Blake went home around midnight. He should not have driven home, he says. He felt like he was drunk the entire way. He had been awake for like the whole day, but looking after me, so that was very tiring. And he went home and basically just passed out and came back first thing in the morning. I had expressed colostrum towards the end of my pregnancy and had kept it in little 5 ml syringes. So we ended up using that in the middle of the first night because my milk hadn't come in yet and I was extremely tired, and so was Bear. So the midwives helped me with giving him colostrum, and then we worked on the breastfeeding after that. But basically, the next day, I think I stayed one more night and then was home the next day. I would have liked to have gone home sooner, but I didn't know that we could ask to go home sooner. And they want to ensure that you've established breastfeeding, and being a first-time mom, it was quite nice to have the support there of the hospital, but I was so ready to get home to our own house and eat our own food and sleep in my own bed and have a shower and all those things and just take my baby home. But overall, it was an amazing experience, and it's only through hindsight now that I can see things that I wanted to do differently and I've ended up doing differently. But the midwives were just absolutely amazing. They gave me my space when I needed it, they supported me when I needed it. They were my cheer squad, they were my support emotionally, physically. Um, just, I just think they are amazing human beings. I'm so grateful that we have access to that in this country because they're amazing.